So now that I've concluded my shootout on the Nikon D7200 and the Fuji X-T10, I want to give you my final thoughts. And just keep in mind, this is my opinion and what I would do. And of course, you want to weigh your own situation. So, well, first of all, I've been a Nikon shooter since the early days of digital, of using compact flash cards, actually. And however, the first professional camera that I used, I would say it was a Nikon body, but it was a Fuji S2. And I first started using that camera and doing weddings and then some portraits. So the Fuji S2 was actually a combination of Nikon and Fuji. The inside, the technology on the inside was Fuji, and it was fantastic. So I've been using those systems, and then I stayed with Nikon. I upgraded to the D300 and so on. And I am a very happy Nikon shooter. And since I had so many other accessories, my flashes, my camera brackets, all the different lenses that I need, I don't really feel the need that I have to make a quick switch to a mirrorless camera, of course being Fuji, because I don't mind the extra little bit of weight or size. It's not really all that much, especially the 7200 is a pretty condensed camera, which does a whole lot actually. So I think for the time being, I'm going to stick with my digital SLR for doing professional jobs. However, that's not to say that I'm not going to use my Fujis either, because I love Fujis. I love their color, and I really like their X camera series. The one thing that I liked about the Nikons professional is their battery. You're going to get more flashes or more usage out of the Nikon battery than you will out of the Fuji battery. And when you change batteries, Nikon's, it's very simple. On the bottom, all you do is you can just take it out of the bottom. It just snaps out, and you can put a new one in just a couple seconds. And that's especially good if your camera is on a tripod or on a camera bracket, because sometimes I'll be using a camera bracket on my wedding photography. Now, on the Fuji, your battery compartment is actually going to be underneath where you mount your tripod, or if you're going to be using a camera bracket. So it's going to be a little bit more of an inconvenience to change that battery. Plus, you're not going to get as many shots out of that battery as you will the Nikon. Just a little bit of, pros and cons there on the Fuji. And another particular thing that I noticed, in my case anyway, because I'm not really all that quite used to using the Fuji X-T10, it was a little bit, it's a really small, it's comfortable, but it's a very small camera body. So until I were to get used to that, it was a little bit tricky, because sometimes my hands and my fingers would touch certain buttons, and it would just make little changes in my settings. So that was just a little bit of a disappointment on that, but that's something that I can easily correct. Possibly I can use a small bracket of some sort so I keep my hands away from the back of the camera. But so with that said, that would be my conclusion on the Nikon. However, that's not to say that I wouldn't use the Fuji, because let's just say this: if I wouldn't have all my Nikon gear and I wasn't really a professional, I would really consider going with one of the Fuji X cameras. And of course, in this case here, we tested the X-T10. It is really an amazing camera, amazing lenses on the Fuji system, and of course there's other lenses available also. Not quite as many as you have for Nikon yet, but if you're going to be doing this just for a hobby, I would probably take a serious look at the Fuji X camera, the X-T10. Smaller, lighter, less expensive as far as some of the lenses go, although some of the better lenses are a little on the pricey side. So how does this balance out? Well, I love them both, and both cameras are just made so well. Even the Fuji, it's just such a such a precise tool. It is just so fun to use, and it's just a nice feel in your hands. Like I said, until you get used to all the controls. So again, I'm going to stick with my Nikons right now for professional use. However, if I was starting all over, or maybe just being a hobbyist, I would take a very serious look at the Fuji X-T10. Thank you very much.